OJ right in your face.
Welcome back to the Faedaway podcast, episode number 22. We are brought to you by the Ball is Life Podcast Network. I'm your host, Fady. I got my boy Zaed here with me. Zaed, how you doing, man? On this sunny, wonderful Monday.
Good, sunny, but a bit deceiving. It's a bit chilly outside. It's a bit windy. Speaking of Balls Life, shout out to Balls Life for giving us all the gear. Pretty nice hoodie. Kira's wearing a nice.
I didn't put mine on
right
yet,
now.
but
you'll debut yours next week. Hopefully, they sent us some dope gear. So, if anyone's interested in Balls Life gear, you can check it out on their website. They got a bunch of good stuff like tech fleece sweaters, pants, shirts, shorts, everything you name it. So shout out to them for giving us some dope gear. Week's been good.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
To all the mamas.
All the mamas, baby mamas, mamas.
Everybody listed in Sorry, Miss Jackson. All of you.
And all the soon-to-be mamas as well. I actually know there's a few of those that I know, so shout out to you guys as well. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to your mom.
All the moms. It was you know what? Mother's Day is nice because I feel like out of all the holidays in the year, that's when NBA players are the most like personalized or personable.
Yeah.
And that's when and one huge shout out is the best Mother's Day gift of all. Pascal Siakam got his mom a crib.
That was mad cute.
And no, ladies and gentlemen, because we were talking about new moms, that is not a baby crib. Yeah. That is a full mansion.
Yeah.
In what looks to be
Florida.
Is
it Florida?
I mean, it's somewhere in the States. It's definitely
not here. It's not here.
He's not allowed in the country, so it's definitely not here. But I'm not going to assume. But I mean, he got his mom a house. He got the family a house, and obviously anyone who knows the story with his dad passing away and having issues getting family here, and it's just to have everyone here and get the house. I mean, every man looks at that and is like, that's goals.
Yeah, yeah.
That's something everybody wants to do eventually one day, and he got a chance to do it. So shout out to him and shout out to all the moms because it was an exciting, a good weekend for it. The weather was nice.
Exactly. Perfect weather for it. Let's get right into it. The NBA season is coming to a close.
Can't believe it.
It's been
5 games left-ish.
It's been 5 games left-ish, a week left-ish. It's been a long season filled with a lot of storylines, filled with a lot of COVID protocol, a lot of people in and out of lineups, a lot of teams.
A lot of back-to-backs.
A lot of teams playing 4 games in 5 nights. It's been a very busy season, to say the least. So it's finally coming to, I guess, an end. Something exciting coming down the pipeline, though, is the play-in games. We'll get into that shortly. Let's start with, obviously, none other than Toronto Raptors basketball going 0-3 on the week. No surprise there. Classic tank fashion. They lose against the Clippers. They lose against the Wizards. And a loss against the Memphis Grizzlies. Kyle Lowry sat out the whole week. So our prayers have been answered by Nick Nurse, I guess, after that marvelous performance against the Lakers. So I guess we're not going to talk about the wins and the losses or just the losses we know the Raptors are in full tank mode. I think I saw somebody.
They're also going against teams that can't lose. Washington can't lose. Memphis can't lose.
Exactly.
The Clippers don't want to lose.
And I think I saw someone posted in the group today a 31% chance at a top 4 pick.
That's crazy. I was going to bring that up. I was going to bring that up. A 32% chance at a top 4 pick.
Very, very high. That's a great situation for the Raptors to be in.
Also, NBA hates us though. It's never gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. I don't think so. Also, it's great that it's nice to have a season ending early for a bunch of these guys since they played in the bubble. Didn't have much of an offseason last year, so it helps a lot. But what we will talk about is what we saw from Pascal, what we saw from Freddie this week, what we saw from Gary Trent came back, played a couple games. Malachi Flynn played. Yuta played a lot more minutes. Jalen Harris played a lot of minutes.
Yeah,
very impressive.
Didn't miss any shots.
It looked like he missed, but it looks like he never missed shots, which is amazing. Kem Birch pretty much solidifying his spot at the starting 5. So I'll let you start off with it. What did you see from our guys this week in terms of just development standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not expecting us to go 3-0 on the week, even 2-1, and like we said, with all the statistics around like top 4 pick and whatnot, it's definitely the favorable outcome. Mm-hmm. I did like what I saw from Jalen Harris. Now, I just want to bring up Jalen Harris a little bit because I've never seen a professional, like an NBA basketball player, play in ankle socks.
Yeah.
I don't know if he just has long legs or those are like mid-highs. But that is a weird look. It just looks like he forgot something.
It makes him look shorter too.
It makes
he's 6'5", but he looks so small on the court.
Makes him look very weird. But I'm not gonna lie to you, the guy came in and he hit very big shots. I don't know if people can hear in the background, but the ice cream truck is bumping right now. So the kids on the street are eating. But no, back to Raptors basketball, man. Obviously, I love to see the development. Malachi Flynn continues to develop. Mm-hmm. The thing I've noticed with Malachi Flynn, and you notice it with every rookie, especially rookie guards, is his highs are really good and his lows are really, really bad. Because sometimes he'll get you 20 to 25 games, 20 to 25 minutes, and he'll get you like 4 to 6 points. Yeah, and you kind of got to be like, come on, like, he's a rookie. I understand. These are what do they call them? Growing pains.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I love to watch always DeAndre Bembry. He's my guy.
Oh,
he's your guy. I'm not going to claim that. He's your guy.
So smooth, man.
But yeah, I mean, from a development standpoint, those were the two guys that stood out to me, the young guards.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what you think. Do you think Jalen Harris stays with the team next year, or
he's on the rookie deal?
Or do you see him pivoting at least into more of a role, or do you kind of just not see him scratching the rotation with a fully contending team?
It's going to be very dependent on Kyle Lowry's situation, and then if the Raptors actually do bring Kyle Lowry back. I think that still is a possibility, a very small possibility. From what I've been pleasantly surprised from what I've seen from Jalen Harris. He comes in the game, plays confident, knocks down big shots. I know he had the assignment of guarding John Morant on Saturday against the Grizzlies, and he did a pretty solid job on John Morant. John only had 12 points that game, so even when you can't contain these guys, you can still slow them down and make them shoot poorly, which is what he did. At 6'5", he's a big guard to have, so he's an asset on your team.
He's 6'5",
he looks so much smaller on the court. It's so weird, but shoots with confidence, plays within himself, plays within the game. When he gets the ball and he has the chance to shoot, he'll shoot it, and you don't really see that from a lot of rookies. So I hope he stays on the team full time. I hope he gets kind of he doesn't get sent back to the 905 because I think his development, getting him some run, can do wonders for him. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the main guys, the Pascals, the Freddies, even the Gary Trents.
Pascal had a huge game this week.
Huge game. He tied his career high with 44 against the Wizards in the OT loss. Shot 17 of 28. Shot very efficient. What has been standing out to me, and this has been my probably biggest criticism of Pascal this whole season, is that he has never been able to string along 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 games where he's played well in all of these 10 games. And the last 2 weeks, the last 3 weeks maybe, he's shown his full repertoire. He's shown his game. He can shoot inside and out. His mid-range jump shot, he's got a little bit of a fading mid-range jump shot around the free throw line that has looked really pretty. So he's done a lot of things to show that, okay, this season hasn't been a great season for me. I've shot poorly from the 3. I've shot poorly in the mid-range, but I can do it. There's a possibility that I can do it, and here I'm going to show it to you guys. So next year, this is a possibility. So honestly, very impressed with this play. In the game against the Clippers, he played 42 minutes. The game against the Wizards, he played 42 minutes. I don't think he needs that much run right now. It went down to 30 minutes against the Grizzlies on Saturday, which I was really happy to see. He doesn't need to be tired at this point in the season. He just needs to work and refine his game right now. In terms of Fred VanVleet, you know what he's going to give you. He had 27 and 13 against the Clippers, 22, 6 and 5, and 45 minutes against the Wizards, which I was once again upset to see. You don't need to run these guys 40-plus minutes a night. You're not trying to win games here. You're trying to develop. Give them 35 minutes. Let other guys play. Let them develop as well. And let the chips fall where they may. You win or lose, it doesn't really matter at this point. Gary Trent Jr.,
he came back.
Played against the Wizards, had 25 and 36 minutes, shot 8 of 16 really well. Against the Grizzlies, he kind of regressed a little bit. Only had 18 points in 36 minutes, shot 5 of 20 from the field. Mm-hmm. He's going to have those up and down games. I'm okay with that. Let him get his run. Let him get his run with the guy, with Fred and Pascal, Let him get comfortable. If the Raptors do manage to sign him again, that's going to be a great move for the Raptors. So I saw a lot of good things from a development standpoint. Kem Birch, he's been steady at this maybe 15 and 8 since he's been on the Raptors, and he's had games where he's had 20 and 10, 18 and 10, whatever it may be. I'm impressed from what I've seen from him. Can protect the rim, can run the floor
very
well.
Athletic, man.
Very athletic, very strong.
I didn't know he was that athletic. Like we knew he was strong.
And he's coordinated.
Yeah, but usually when you get strong, you kind of have this weird-looking guy that can't really move that well.
Yeah.
But he runs the court. He's going to give you some nice layups. I mean, his a little bit, I want to say like tiny bit out of control.
Right.
Sometimes. But, I mean, what we've seen from him, I think, is more than what anybody like. You talk about big men pickups in the middle of the season.
Huge one. That's a very big one.
I don't think there's many better ones than that one.
And he steps out and shoots a three. You know, I'm sure. I don't think he shoots it at 40%. Maybe he's probably at 35. Don't quote me on that one, but he will step out and shoot it. He'll have he'll have the guts to actually come out and shoot it, and that's huge from your big man. You need
his
that from
form.
your big man.
We talked about this kind of
like
Kawhi
Leonard's form. Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of a weird,
stiff,
like very,
it's very in. All right, it's
very
stiff.
mechanical.
But I've loved what I've seen from him. Freddie Gillespie, he signed that 2-year contract with the Raptors a week or two ago. Earned it. He's played great. He's played great as a back. He's a great backup center to have, in my opinion.
So good energy guy, man.
Exactly.
Good kid.
That's all you. Yeah, good kid to have on the team. Good energy guy. Will hustle. He'll come out of nowhere to block shots. And you know, I've said this before about his rim protection. I had a lot of questions about it, but he's proved me wrong. So love having him on the team. Love that addition as well. Going forward, though, the Raptors don't have Lowry signed for next year, which we know that. I think the bigger issue or the bigger key is that the Raptors don't have Masai signed for next year. I don't know what your take is on this. I'll give you my take first. I personally don't think Masai resigns and stays on the Raptors. I think he might be looking for a different challenge in his career. I also think that he may also feel it's time to give Bobby the reins of the team and make him the GM and the president of the team. So I think as far as from those angles, it doesn't look good. Masai has been very quiet on what he's going to do next season. So I don't know what your view is on that.
Yeah, okay. So that's a good question. I like talking about this topic because it is something that almost, I want to say Raptors fans are scared of because...
Scary, man.
We talk about, earlier in the episode, you say it's this is going to be the earliest end to the season that we've had in a while.
8 years, 7 years?
Since our second year of university, to be specific.
Wow.
So that's about like seven years ago. So you talk about like when you think as a Raptors fan, when you think of Masai, you think of for me at least, before the championship, I think of someone who transformed the franchise.
Yeah.
I think of someone who brought winning ways to the city, winning basketball to the country. So when you think of losing this guy, you're like, oh my goodness, we're going to go right back to square one. I think that Bobby's been next to him for long enough now that it's one of those situations where Bobby is now a part of Masai. He's an extension of Masai.
Yeah.
And I do agree with you that I don't think he's going to stay, but I don't think that Masai's next position is going to be with the NBA.
Oh.
I would not be surprised if Masai took on some sort of exec position in the African League that's starting up this year, whether he becomes like commish or like something in the league reigns.
That's a different one.
Because that think about it, that's starting up now. There's J. Cole's playing in Rwanda.
Shout out to J. Cole.
I don't know, PK. Did you know that? PK. There's an African league starting up in the NBA, or like an extension of the NBA. J. Cole's playing for Rwanda.
3 to 6 games.
We
don't know how many. 3 to 6. That's what the deal is.
So, I mean, look, I would not be surprised if Masai maybe went there.
Wow.
Because think about that. It's brand new.
Yeah.
It needs as much recognition as possible. Masai is at the forefront of everything basketball in Africa.
Yeah.
Basketball without borders. That's him. So I would not be surprised if he ended up taking on something there.
Wow.
Because I don't really know. Like, I feel like his NBA days, it feels like he's like beyond that now. Like
he's achieved what he had to achieve.
When you see him and he interviews, he's like too cool now for this.
So wise.
He's just been around.
So wise. That's why.
So I don't know. That my take is it's a bit of a bold take and out of left field, but I would not be surprised if Masai Ujiri ended up taking a role with the African League. I don't know what the league is called. I don't want to call it the African League.
That's a really good take to have, though. That's a very interesting perspective. But as far like, let's just say he doesn't re-sign, I do still think the Raptors are in a very good position. Basketball Africa League. There you go.
Good.
I still think the Raptors are in a very good position at the general manager, president role with Bobby Webster at the helm. Like you said, he's pretty much been groomed by Masai to take this position. He probably thinks like Masai. He deals with situations like Masai. I do know he's pretty much the one making the phone calls at this point for any deals, any trades, any player personnel, any movement going on a team. So, a lot of Raptors fans are worried about not having Masai going forward. I don't think it's as big as a blow as everybody may think it is. Obviously, Masai's a legend. He's a legend in this country forever. Like, there's no doubt about it. But having a guy like Bobby to take over for him, I think is still going to put the Raptors in a really good position. Yeah,
for sure. If I know we can't really talk too much more Raptors because, the week is what it is. The season is essentially done in the bag. If they do have their pick of the litter and they have a lottery pick, what position do you want to see them go get? Because if they go out and get another small guard, I swear I'm gonna.
We can't afford another small guard.
Like like you had Fred and Kyle, and then you drafted Malachi Flynn. It's like 3 very small guards.
You're gonna have to.
Do you go for a center?
You have to go for a 5.
I don't know anything about the draft. I don't know anything about the lottery.
The thing is, it depends because I know you love to talk about timeline, and you like this. We had that one episode where we talked about getting James Wiseman and timeline. OG is 24. Fred VanVleet and Pascal both 27. They've got 3 or 4 more years on their deal.
Yeah.
We have a 5 in Birch. We have a 5 in Gillespie. We've signed guys low key. I don't know how much of a 5. I don't know how much a young 5 will do at this point because they won't be developed. They won't be ready for the NBA game. 5s usually take a lot more time to develop than a guard or a wing player. So honestly, I think you take that pick and you trade it away and you get something in return.
Trade, huh?
I think I'm gonna maybe a cop out answer, but I think you go and you trade because you kind of have the pieces at the 5 spot, at the guard spot, at the 1 spot, at the wings to have a really good team.
But think about this: if they can get a solid, like a young star wing player, like a guy because if you're getting a top 10. And you can get a wing player who can change your franchise. You can. Absolutely.
You can.
Donovan Mitchell was like the 10th pick or 9th pick or something
At this point, it doesn't really matter where you
stumble across a guy like that, you have a franchise-changing guy. So let's say, for example, they come across that guy, they draft that guy, and then come summertime, they're like, do we really need Gary Trent Jr. now?
Okay.
Fair. So now we have this money. Now we can go out and get somebody else. I don't know. It's just an idea. But
that could be it.
I'd have to learn more about the draft. I kind of just came up with that question now. But it'll be interesting. It's been a while since the Raptors have been in this position where I think our last lottery pick was, DeMar DeRozan?
No,
JV?
Before. JV was later. JV maybe?
Yeah, I think it was JV. Lottery.
I'll stick to that. I'll back that.
Because I feel like after JV, we just started to win. But anyways.
Masai came in. That's why,
It's been a while since. And, you look at DeMar DeRozan, what he did to the franchise, and he was the 9th pick, right? So, he didn't give us a championship, but he was pivotal to changing the franchise and giving us that the winning culture that we have, and ultimately ended up turning into Kawhi Leonard. So, I'm all for it. I think it'll be exciting. I don't know much, but I'm hearing through the grapevine that the upcoming draft class is pretty good. Strong.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see, man. If you really think about it, since 2016, the draft classes have been crazy deep. Yo, this year's rookies, I've never honestly, I don't know. It might be recency bias, but I've never seen a rookie draft class with so many rookies doing so many things for their teams,
making impacts on their team, making huge impacts on their team
everywhere across the league. These kids are playing meaningful minutes everywhere, good or bad teams,
and they're earning starting positions on a lot of teams
crazy.
Too. So, I checked that. I fact checked our own facts. JV was the second last lottery pick. Terrence Ross was actually the last
draft. 8?
At number 8, in the first round of 2012. So you haven't had a lottery pick since Terrence Ross since 2012. The Raptors have been winning for a long time.
Damn, T. Ross was 8.
T. Ross was high. That's a high pick for T. Ross. That's unfortunate, to be honest. But they had. Wow, here I'm seeing. Here I'm seeing 2016 Jakob Poeltl at the 9th spot.
Oh,
at the 9th spot.
That's probably acquired via trade, I'm assuming.
Exactly. Yeah, it was from Denver via New York. It was from a trade. But yeah, so I mean the last real pick, I guess you could say, was Terrence Ross. So not much luck at the lottery, in the lottery positions. The last lucky one was JV, who we know now is actually one of the most underrated players in the NBA from what he's doing in Memphis. And
we had a JV right now, let's just say
totally
different season.
Totally different team. So let's see what decisions they make. It's definitely new territory for the Raptors at this point to
watch him go out and get that. Is he Filipino? The 7-footer, Kai Soto.
Yeah, I think he's Filipino.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Yo, can you imagine a Filipino in Toronto? Oh,
any player of any ethnic background in Toronto will catch so much love.
If a Filipino player gets drafted to the Toronto Raptors, the Filipino community
that'd be huge.
Bro.
Shout out to the Filipino community, man. They
love
the Raptors ball too. Yeah,
we went to high school with tons of Filipino
exactly.
Players,
some closing weird stats to complement this weird season for the Raptors. So the Raptors kept it close, really close against the Clippers, the Wizards, and the Grizzlies. They lost by maybe 4 to 5 points, and the Grizzlies lost by 10 points. They're still a plus 13 in like their net rating in points against and points for. The Raptors have the lowest winning percentage in NBA history for a team that has outscored its opponents over the whole season, and they can still keep that record. So the plus 13 right now, they can't afford to win two games this week, or else this record or this history making moment will be broken. And and then this exactly complements what Fred VanVleet said. He's like, we're the best worst team ever, and that's the best way to explain it.
We often say this team has too many good pieces and too many,
absolutely,
like this team is too much of what is going to be next year for it to be this bad. That exactly. It's like, how much better do we need to get to actually not be 12th? Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see, and it's definitely going to be a big summer.
Yeah,
from a lot of different.
It'll be an exciting offseason. It'll be an exciting summer. Hopefully, all the players go back, get some rest, work on their game. And we start fresh with a new 2022 season, and higher expectations, a lot higher expectation for that season, and hopefully it ends up working out.
Hopefully, let's talk play-in, because
a lot of exciting stuff in the play-in.
It's exciting for us, but there's been a lot of complaining around the league.
Right.
So I was actually recently listening to the Enes Kanter interview with Raja and Logan. Mm-hmm. And he was saying, he's like, in our locker room, like, we are avidly avoiding that. Like, we do not want to play. He's like, we agree with LeBron. Whoever, came up with this should be fired. Obviously, they were laughing a little bit, but it's not fun, man. A lot of NBA teams are not looking forward to it. But I'll tell you what, as a fan,
it's amazing.
It's made the last 3 weeks, which would have been, think about it this way. Remember, there was once upon a time where it was normal that the last month of the year, no stars would play.
Yeah.
At least the last 2 weeks, your Spurs, your everybody, the top 3 seeds, you're cashing it in. We're going to get 60 wins. We don't need it. Everyone needs to sit. To the point where 73-9 season, the Warriors played to the end, and it was a thing. They're like, wow, these guys are playing to the end. Now you're playing to the end. Yeah. Every single game matters. So it's exciting. It's meaningful basketball. So it's good for the fans.
There's a stat. Actually, viewership went up 25% in the last maybe few weeks because of these playing games.
Year over year, I'm assuming.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
so
insane.
It's exciting. That's the whole point of these playing games, right? It's for casual fans to tune in. It's for exciting storylines. It's for to make the game more exciting.
Yeah. It definitely sucks if you finish 7th and then one game
and you lose.
1 game lapse, 2 game lapses, you lose, or for example, you get a team that shouldn't be there, and then you end up playing against it. We'll go through it right now. So the East play-in is a place you don't want to be in right now.
Nope.
So the 7th seed is Boston.
Tough.
We'll talk about Boston in 1 second, but Boston is 7. Charlotte is 8.
Yep.
Charlotte is just getting everyone back now. So yeah, they dropped a little bit. They were 4th for a while. So this is a top 4 team. Top 5 team who's now slipped into the 8th seed.
They were 7.5 games above the Wizards, who are trailing them now by just one game. One game now at the.
Yep. They lost LaMelo Ball. They lost Gordon Hayward. They lost a bunch of guys.
Bridges,
Malik
Graham
Monk.
missed time. They all missed time.
Now they're all coming back. I mean, Gordon's still up, but they're coming back, so they're
Yeah.
winning games. But they're still in the 8th seed. And then you talk Washington in the 9 seed. Washington's been the hottest team in the NBA the last month.
Yep.
You're going to catch them in the play-in. That sucks.
Yeah.
And then the 10th seed is the Pacers. The Pacers are crumbling, and we'll talk about that.
Wow, the Pacers.
Let's start with Boston, man. Big news came out of Boston today. Jaylen Brown is out for the season. Out for the season. He tore ligaments in his wrist.
That is not what they need. Not at all. Honestly, from a Raptors fan perspective, it's amazing to come on and see the Boston Celtics struggling. From a Toronto fan perspective.
They were in my mentions yesterday, bro.
Yeah?
I tweeted about Brad Stevens and how he shouldn't have a job next year.
Yeah, and people were...
It blew up. It didn't blow up, but I got like 30 responses going off on me.
Really?
Oh, Kemba's been trash. This dude been this.
Yeah.
This dude's that. Oh, he's an elite coach.
We've been talking about Brad Stevens. We've been talking about, Brad Stevens hoodwinking this team for the longest time. For maybe a year now, maybe more than a year.
Maybe he's a great coach. He's just not for this team.
But yeah, he hasn't been able to do much with this team. So since the All-Star break, they're the league's third best second half team. Boston.
What are they in the first half?
19 and 29 in first quarters. 19 of the last 29 first quarters they've lost.
Wow.
And that's where the difference is. You can't afford to go down big in the first quarter, in the first half, and always try to have a resilient second half, a heroic second half to bring you back. They were down by 22 and 26 against the Bulls and the Heat this weekend, and they couldn't come back from that. So I don't know. That could be a preparation issue. That is a coaching issue if it's a preparation issue. It could be personnel are not on the same page. That could be an issue. Another thing, for the first time in the last 14 years, this team has a chance to have, so not the first time, for the second time in the last 14 years, this team has a chance to have a defense that is below the NBA average. What does that say about a team? Poor coaching? No one's on the same page? So clearly I
don't think they're motivated.
They don't look motivated. They don't look like they want to play. Jason Tatum is coming out and balling out. We know he's a great player. We know he can put the ball in the basket, but as a team, they just don't look like they're a cohesive team. I think they definitely lost. I think like ever since that Isaiah Thomas trade, that snake that moved straight up that they put on Isaiah Thomas, they just haven't looked like the same fierce team. I know that they beat the Raptors last year in the bubble in the playoffs. That was a big win for them, but this season they just haven't looked good. And when you're aspiring to be a championship team, you cannot afford to constantly play from behind. Odds are always going to be against you when you're playing from behind, and that's where the Celtics find themselves right now.
So these guys lost 7 of their last 10 games.
Yep.
They've lost 3 of their last 4 games.
Yep.
They've conceded 129, 121, and 130 in those losses. Their defense is ways away from what it used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, Boston's identity, what it was last year, is completely gone. I'm like, now especially without Jaylen Brown.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's tough.
They're not a threat to me.
It's
tough. If I'm going up against, if I'm looking at this list of playing teams outside of Indiana, the ice cream truck guy, this guy is resilient today. He's going to park back up on the driveway.
He's doing his rounds.
But you talk about the playing teams outside of Indiana, which is crumbling.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it, I promise. Outside of that, Boston's the team I want. I don't want to go up against Charlotte. I damn sure as hell don't want to go up against Washington.
Yeah.
We should say, though. Brad Beal. 2 games with a hamstring strain. I know. Have you strained your hammy?
I mean, maybe not at the level that Brad Beal is trained at, but
I strained it playing rec league softball.
You did. I remember that.
It took me like a month and a half to come back.
You couldn't run when you went to bat.
This dude is going to have to come back in 2 days.
Yeah.
And play competitive NBA basketball. I don't know.
It'll be tough.
I don't know. He does have, way more medical access than I ever did.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah.
He's also ways healthier than I am. So there's no question it's a different ballgame. But it's not a fun injury. It's an annoying injury. Chris Paul had it. He missed the playoffs.
Right.
James Harden's had it. He's been out for quite some time.
Yeah.
KD had it. He was out for a bit. So it's an annoying injury. It's a nagging injury. So I really hope it's nothing serious because they don't stand a chance if Brad Beal's not on the court. Unfortunately, like Russell Westbrook's going to get you his numbers, and he's been doing just that.
Yeah.
But it's not sustainable, my dude. Like
when
you can't do that without Brad Beal.
That's the thing. When you look at the playing games, if I'm the Hornets, I want to see Boston. I want to see Boston. Or I want to see. I mean, if the Pacers miraculously pull, a move and somehow make it to the playing games, I want to see the Pacers. I don't want to see the Wizards. The Wizards, especially with the way Russell Westbrook's been playing lately. He just, shout out to Russell Westbrook. He just tied the big O, Oscar Robertson, for the most triple doubles in league history. But what's been amazing is Westbrook has literally willed this team, obviously alongside Bradley Beal, who's been playing phenomenal, alongside also Raul Neto, who torched the Raptors this week and who's been playing this well for the last few months now. They've just seemed to figure it out, and literally Westbrook has been doing everything for this team to get them to win. Mm-hmm. When you lose such a big piece like Bradley Beal, it gets a lot tougher. We all know that. I hope he comes back, because if that playing game as a fan becomes Hornets and Wizards, that is going to be an exciting playing game for the league. So,
but I would in a perfect world want Charlotte 7, Washington 8. Like
exactly, yeah, I agree.
I guess
it could happen.
Because if Charlotte wins the 7-8 game, they take the 7 seed. Washington takes in 8th, and I think that unfortunately Boston, I don't feel ways about the city, and I definitely don't want to see you in the playoffs without Jaylen Brown. It's going to be a first round slap. I'd rather if I'm going to watch Brooklyn go up in the first round, I want KD and Russ in the first round.
That would be that's headlines. That's storylines. That's
KD
perfect.
and Russ in the first round, make it happen, NBA.
That's perfect. What I want to mention about Russ though is for the longest time, nobody gave him any credit. Nobody gave him any flowers. Triple doubles was stat padding. On OKC he did it. On the Rockets he did it. It was always stat padding. I think I saw a stat recently that was his win percentage in the games that he gets triple doubles is around 75%, which I mean, hey.
Numbers speak for themselves.
Numbers speak for themselves. However you want to slice it, you want to call it stat padding. If you're winning 75% of your games while getting a triple double, you are clearly doing everything you can and you need to for your team to win. And you got to respect that hustle. I think Russell has been a lot more appreciated this year, given that he's been on the Wizards, given that he's helped resurrect this team from the mud.
Yeah. Just imagine in your day-to-day, because people are delusional sometimes, right? Imagine your day-to-day job, right? You've developed this routine to do something, and you do really well in this routine.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, nah, you're doing it to show off. But I'm doing a great job. No, you're doing it to show off. But it's like, buddy, if I found a way to win games, it's the NBA.
Yeah.
I'm going to win these games.
Exactly.
So, I mean, he definitely, does he maybe stat padding, go get that extra rebound that he shouldn't get? Sure.
Maybe, sure.
Does that change the outcome of the game? Does that change his attitude and everything? No. Do I still think Russell Westbrook's stats are empty stats? I do.
Do you think so?
I do. I absolutely do. He wins games in the regular season, but he has very poor basketball decision making in the playoffs. He's time and time again just not the guy in the playoffs.
I'm not gonna disagree with that statement. I think in the playoffs it's a whole different story. You look at it's tough to the playoffs. It's
he's winning them. Yeah, 70. We talked 75%. They're 9th right now in the East.
But they were in the mud. They did not have it together at all. It's his first year in Washington, so you can't really expect much. Especially in the beginning, it was a very slow start. A lot of guys in and out of the lineup as well. So, not a new coach, but still a new coach, new team. You gotta get used to a guy who was leading the league in scoring, playing alongside a guy like that. He's already did that with James. You got Harden. You got to do that again with Bradley Beal and other guys. So it's a lot tougher. I don't think they're empty stats. Regardless of what you do, if you take those stats out, nobody has a chance. His team does not have a chance to win a game, regular season or playoffs, if you take Russell Westbrook out of that equation. It's point blank. You take away 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. No team can have that kind of drop off and still expect to have a winning team or win a game or win a playoff series. That's why when people say it's empty stats, it's like, who else is going to go get all those numbers? Nobody on these teams is going to go and get those rebounds, get those assists, get those points. So I'll agree and say it doesn't always lead to winning, especially in the playoffs. But when you look at the teams he's been on, who else is going to go and do that? Russell Westbrook
Paul
legit
George
has to go do that.
Come on, man. Russell Westbrook's had the best teammates out of anyone in the league. He's literally
out of anyone in the league,
bro. He played with KD,
young KD, man,
and then he played with Paul George, and then he played with James Harden.
But it doesn't matter.
And now he's with Bradley Beal, all in their prime.
Just because you play with this one or two elite players doesn't mean it's a great team.
No, but you're
coaching
saying
takes
he
into
has
account.
to go do that because no one else is there.
Paul George doesn't facilitate like
Paul George
Westbrook will.
Third in MVP voting the year he played with Russ.
Right, but he doesn't go facilitate the same way Westbrook does. He doesn't go and rebound.
So you're saying
there's all these things that he does.
Man, he does too much.
Maybe,
and that's why he's not compatible with a lot of the guys. Like Paul George and him, they lasted a year, 2 years. James Harden and him lasted a year. We know KD left because he didn't want to be in that system. Mm-hmm. Bradley Beal's the only guy saying whatever, but Bradley Beal till today tells you the Wizards are a good organization. So we don't even know
if he's telling the truth.
What are you like? He just doesn't care. He's making his guap. He's happy, like whatever. Mm. But it is what it is. What is it? What is the word? The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding.
Okay.
The man historically can't hold down a good teammate.
Paul George came back. Paul George re-signed with him.
Yeah. And then he left. And
okay, so he did hold down for. He did hold down for a
Kawhi?
second.
Say less. Yeah. 1 year into a 4-year extension. 1 year. No, say less. Who's your point guard? Pat Bev. Say less.
Moving on from the Westbrook and the Wizards. What my concern is in terms of the East play-in, the Hornets have a tough schedule this week, and it's not going to be easy for them to win these games against Denver, the Clippers, the Knicks, who have been.
They just beat the Clippers yesterday.
Julius Randle has been All NBA this year.
First win against the Clippers, I think, in LA since 2010. I watched the
it's
second
amazing.
half. Yo,
it's
I'm not
amazing.
gonna lie to you. Julius, he struggled yesterday, but he hit a clutch shot.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose
has been on one. He's been on one lately.
Was like 11 for 13 yesterday, 25 points. Reggie Bullock, I don't know where this dude came out of. Sniper.
Yeah.
Automatic. I want to search up his percentage because that guy was making huge shots.
So the Knicks team, so they're going up against Denver, Clippers, and the Knicks, and guess who their last game of the season is? The Washington Wizards. So the Hornets do currently.
Isn't it crazy how that
always happens?
Always
somehow.
works out.
The Wizards. The Hornets do carry the tiebreaker as of right now before that last game. So the Washington Wizards can get even with the Hornets in that last game of the season. So I'm very intrigued to see how it turns out. It's not looking good for the Hornets because of this really tough schedule for this last week. So there's going to be a lot of movement in that 7 to 10, 11 spots, I think, this week.
I pulled up Reggie Bullock's numbers.
Yeah.
Can you believe that Reggie Bullock is 50, 40, 90? He's 52% from 2-point field goals, 41% from 3, 91% from the free throw line. He's up 10% from free throws. He's up 8% in threes. This dude is having a year, bro. Having a year, 11 points a game.
Honestly, you know what? He deserves it, and any player on that team deserves all the success, and even the coaching staff, whatever, they deserve all the success in the world. That has been one of the very, very few teams in the league that actually plays as a team, actually competes, actually buys into what their coach is saying and preaching. And you can see it all over their faces. You can see it in their interviews. You can see it in their team dynamic. That is one of the only teams in the NBA that haven't had any drama. It's just been a great season for the Knicks, and the way they've turned it around. We don't even plan on talking about the Knicks today, but we literally cannot help.
Absolutely,
they're just raving about them every single week.
Let's talk West though.
West playing. The Golden State Warriors have revived themselves and come out the mud. Steph Curry.
They haven't revived themselves. Steph Curry revived.
Steph Curry has carried this team. I think since the All-Star break, he's averaged like 37 points a game. He had his 22nd career game where he had 10 plus threes this week. The Warriors have they've just taken advantage of
49 and 3/4 that game.
Yeah, you're right. They've taken advantage of a weak schedule. They had the Pelicans a few times without Zion. Shout out to Zion. Get well soon with the finger injury.
Done for the year, right?
Done for the year, yeah. They had the Thunder and the Rockets within that stretch that really helped lift them to get them to the 8th seed. So they've taken advantage of their schedule. Steph Curry has been balling out of his mind. My concern for the Warriors is that schedule luck is going to run out because they have a lot tougher of a schedule to end the season. Their record against the top 16 teams in the league is 12-23. So it's going to be a very tough last week for them. If they can pull it out and they can play really well, it's going to be great. I think if they can sneak into that play-in game, I think it's going to be great for fans, for the league, to have Steph Curry back in the playoffs. When's the last time we saw Steph Curry play this late into the season? Usually he's getting a couple years now. Years now. Last year they didn't make the playoffs. The years before he's probably been resting. Maybe he's been injured. So it's going to be a very exciting race in the West.
Yeah. So if you look at the teams right now, 7th is the Lakers.
Wow.
Tough.
Wow.
And LeBron. I'll be happy to let you know that I know he said he was 100%, never going to be 100%, but
yeah.
Reports are he's back to 100% today.
Oh, okay, great.
We're very grateful. He's cutting laterally.
I doubted him. I doubted him
he's
too.
moving he's moving great. They didn't say 100%, but they said he's cutting, moving. Everything looks fantastic.
Of course.
He's been pain-free for 3 days, so thank God he's back to kind of normal. Lakers are in 7th. That's a problem.
Crazy.
The Warriors are 8th. Memphis is 9th. Spurs are 10th. So if I had my pick of the litter, I want obviously the Lakers to go in there, but I want me some Ja Morant in the first round.
Yeah, man.
As much as Steph Curry is exciting, we know that's all it is with him. There's no chance of upset at all because it's Steph Curry and nobody else.
Right.
Nobody else. Like, it's actually just like it's criminal how little. And like Wiggins has never been to a playoffs. Like maybe one time he has. And if that's your like option 2 guy, I'd rather see Ja Morant get playoff run under his belt.
Yeah.
This young in his career, and Memphis is a low key team. They're young. They're a good defensive team. They were top in the West for a lot of the year. They just got Triple J back.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You think they can upset a Jazz or a Suns team?
Phoenix? Absolutely, man.
I don't think they can upset a Phoenix team.
Absolutely, bro. Why not? Why not?
You might hate my answer. You might
Chris Paul. Yeah, I mean he is good.
I think but the mental aspect of it is it's not going to work out for them. I don't think so. I think
maybe not upset, but they can take them. Let's say push them to 6 games.
They can make it exciting.
I'd rather see that for his growth than I'd want to see Steph go get me 40 in a sweep.
Right.
Like, it's exciting to watch Steph, but I want meaningful basketball.
Right.
So I see more of that with Memphis, and obviously the Lakers don't belong in 7th, and I mean. Portland keeps pushing away, but let's assume, they get out and Portland is in that play-in. It's not even going to be close. Portland's just going to handle business with the Warriors.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's going to be exciting, but I don't want to see the Warriors in the playoffs. I just don't.
Yeah, that's your fair opinion to have. Ja Morant could really use that kind of marketing, especially in that small market of a team.
Especially when it's like, you're here. You won just by getting here. So
exactly.
There's no pressure on you to win. So you get that run. You understand what it's like to go up against a team.
You build the
prepare
experience.
for a 7-game series. And that way, when there are real expectations, it's not like, damn, it's his first time.
Yeah.
What's he going to do?
A couple extra maybe topics around the league. Zion out for the season, like we said. Griffin was fined $50,000 for blaming the referees for Zion's injury.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that fine? Obviously, it's probably a BS finding.
He came out and said he's like, we've sent multiple reports to the league all year about how they're letting things go on him, how they're gonna end up getting him injured,
and then
lo and behold, he gets injured. So I mean, anytime anyone speaks out against the refs, I respect it because it's definitely I didn't watch it, but I can, based on my knowledge of the refs and everything that's happened this year, I can tell you he probably has merit to what he's saying. Mm-hmm. Even though it's Zion as their franchise player, it's probably a sensitive spot for them. The refs have been terrible all year, so I don't doubt it. And obviously the NBA is going to come to the defense of their referees because
they're authoritarian over that kind of stuff. Like,
bro, you can't even you can
never get feedback.
I saw something. It's like you can in the NBA you can speak out against the president of the United States,
but not the referee.
But you speak out against the referee, it's a $50,000 fine. That is twisted.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Other news? Anything else on top of your mind?
No, I didn't. I mean, honorary mention. Yeah, that's what. Campazzo's amazing, bro.
I love Campazzo,
I watched
bro.
a few games this week. I was like, This dude is nice, bro.
Campazzo's nice. He's a rookie, but he's played professional his whole life, like we said, but last week too. He's a great piece. He's a great piece for that team, man. He brings grit, knows how to play the game. He's very smart.
Yeah.
Another honorable mention, Bogdanovic, who continues
player of the week.
Player of the week last week, continues his tear. I think Donovan Mitchell's still out, so he's kind of taken that spot and really been the offensive power for that team. The Jazz are very versatile. The Jazz have a lot of offensive weapons. Jordan Clarkson
this week they were.
Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench. Ingles, we know, looks like a guy who works at Home Depot but can give you buckets. And Bogdanovic, honestly, like looks like a history teacher, can give you buckets. So
48 points this week.
Shout out to him and you know, honorable mention for him. He's been balling out of his mind. He's reverse layups, shooting out of his mind. Like it's been amazing to watch.
Absolutely. With that being said, let's wrap her up. We got a night ahead of us. So you know where to find us: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Insta, wherever you go to like pictures, wherever you go to DM your friends, you can find us.
Yeah.
So give us a follow. We're worth it. Shout out to the Balls Life Podcast Network, and we will come at you guys next episode.